Okay, let's try this. Welcome to What's Niggling Me. I am with my brother Rye and trying to live streaming has failed, and we'll try again at a later date. But Rye, if you go to Israel's Instagram and you look at his latest post, but not his latest pin post, but his latest post. Recognize that guy?
Oh, I do.
I saw Israel posted this yesterday, and I was pretty pumped to see it. Remember, I just told you the world was having celebrations. Jamaica was having celebrations. People were all around the world after that coup attempt. And then I saw Israel post this, and I'm like, shit. And in this video, I don't know if I'm allowed to play it or not. Oh, I'm not logged in on here. But he had an English interpreted video of the Italian Prime Minister that I showed you the other day. Remember I played the video of the Italian Prime Minister?
Yep.
He had a translated one in there. So I'm like, shit, this is big. People are standing up.
And seeing what's going on.
And seeing what's going on.
Possibilities.
In Nigeria is real close to Burkina Faso. I think that's why he sees the hope and wants Nigeria to stand up. That's not the screen I want. Okay. Now the screen's pretty bright on my TV here. Let's see. Okay, if you go to that map and you see Ukraine, that is bright.
This here.
Let's fix this screen a little bit. Ooh, what's that line I just put in there? Okay. Motherfucker.
What'd you drop?
It was a dab cart.
Just after I told you.
Okay, we got Ukraine. Now it's a pretty decent size of land on this screen, kind of, right?
Yep.
And you got Romania, where your HR person's from. You see that under it?
Yep.
I'm gonna try and zoom in here, maybe to make my TV make it look a little better on the TV. If you go back up to Ukraine, you go left. You see Poland.
Oh, I can do this. Yes.
And then right next to it, Germany to the left. And I don't know if you can see the cities in there, but Nuremberg's right in there, right next to Czechoslovakia. And you see you have Germany, but if you look and then you keep going more left, like there's Belgium up there, but down there's France, right?
I see France.
But do you see underneath Germany where it's Switzerland?
I don't really even see Germany.
It's
not good.
Germany's next to France, but if you see the water, right, the English Channel, do you see that?
Channel.
If you see France, go to the top
I see France.
Go to the top. Go to France, and then go.
There's Germany.
Yeah. You see Germany?
Just a baby country.
Yeah. Well, yeah. It's not huge. It's pretty big, but it's there's bigger. The German so the Germans you gotta what's crazy is you see Germany and you say, oh, it's not that big, eh? But they took all of that land to the right, underneath, and to the left.
Left too?
They took all of France, didn't touch Switzerland, had an agreement with Mussolini, so they didn't go down and take Italy under Switzerland. But where I showed you from Ukraine, at the start of Ukraine, that was the buffer zone. They didn't take Ukraine, but Germany took to the left, so they took France and Belgium and everywhere there. But then to the right, they took Poland, they took Slovakia, Germany, Romania.
They didn't go to United Kingdom though.
That was that's where the Americans came. Once Germany got there, to that English Channel right there, that water, the Americans came. And since Germany had spread out so much, right? France is huge, but they also had gone eastward and taken all of Poland, all of Czechoslovakia, all of Hungary. And then, but the Soviets were not happy. If you go back all the way to the right, you'll have to zoom out to see how big Russia is.
Moscow? Oh, fuck.
Okay, you'll have to keep scanning your screen a bunch.
It's pretty decent.
Plus they owned Estonia, Lithuania, Belarus, Ukraine, Romania. Those were all theirs. Attached to that massive fucking piece of...
Pretty impressive.
I know. That's why when they say, that Putin wants to restart the Soviet Union and he'll try to take out every country in Europe, I'm like, you know how impossible it is to hold all of that land? He would be an idiot to try and expand his army like Hitler did and try to expand all that territory. There's just not enough manpower to hold the line everywhere. They can't hold the line. It's impossible, right? That's impossible to do.
And plus, NATO would be fucking everywhere, right?
Right. It would be even harder now. Even harder to do than ever. But if you go all the way to the right, across Russia, keep going until you keep getting across, and eventually you'll see the Bering Sea, what we all learn about in school, right?
Bering Strait?
It's the sea, but it froze over 13,000 years ago, roughly, or it was frozen over roughly 13,000 years ago. And they tell us this story about them coming over 13,000 years ago. I'm pretty sure they came over 25,000 years ago. But then it says it's the United States. It's because the States bought Alaska for fucking real dirt cheap back in the day. And then it's Canada.
I thought we were on the left.
What do you mean?
I thought on the maps we were on the left, not the right of Russia and all that.
That's because we never look at the map the way I just kind of showed you. We always start from Canada and go to the right, and then Russia. Say what you said again.
Like when I look at a map,
Mm-hmm.
Russia's on the right, Asia's on the right, and we're on the left.
Because most of the time we never look. We always start at us, and then we're the, and then we're look. You know what I mean? But
Makes sense.
this is as
I
if,
didn't know that.
yeah, as if we're starting on like further to the left, and we're going right to us. But so I'm gonna scroll back to Russia, maybe I don't know, back to Russia, and then go down, and that's where Japan is. Do you see that or no?
This map is fucking weird, bro.
Huh? What?
This map's weird, bro.
Where are you at?
Just makes me not understand the world when I look at Canada and above it's Greenland.
You don't understand it?
I didn't know that was there.
I know. I thought this would be interesting. I really hoped that my TV would be easy to be seen, because I thought this would be interesting to show you how the world, we never learned the world map very well, I don't think, if at all. So I thought it would be interesting to go over it and show you how trippy, how all the conflicts and all different things are going on in the world, how it's set up, because we never look at a map to the left ever. We only ever look at a map to the right and flat, kind of like. So
true, yeah, true.
So in the Pacific Ocean is gigantic. Like it's fucking huge, bro. That's why they always go to the right when they're flying, to go over to Europe and stuff like that. And they're always flying to the right. And I think that has to do with wind currents and stuff. I don't know.
This map's wrong.
What do you mean? Oh, why did you find an area?
When I look at Canada here, it shows Vancouver in the wrong spot.
Like you want it to be on the island?
I know that it's not on the left side of Canada.
Yes, it is.
It's out west.
That's out west, the left side of Canada.
When I look at a map, it's to my right. This doesn't make sense to me.
I have no clue what you're talking about. That Vancouver on a map is on the right of Windsor?
Yes.
No, it's thousands of kilometers to the left. Alberta's to the left.
It's not in BC.
It is, and it's next to Alberta.
You can see my screen?
Hold on.
Why is all this stuff over here? Isn't it supposed to be over here?
Your computer, Ottawa. The BC's to the left. It's not to the right of Canada. In Canada.
Isn't that where Saskatchewan, Edmonton?
That's the middle of the country.
Yeah, Saskatchewan and them, right?
Yeah.
And then I thought this was the East Coast.
That's the West Coast. The East Coast is PEI.
I was always pretty sure looking at normal maps that it was over here.
No. It's on the other side.
That doesn't make sense. I need to go look at a map. I think you're wrong, and the website's wrong.
PEI, Quebec, Nova Scotia, all that's the East Coast.
They lied to me when I grew up then?
I don't think they did. Maybe you had the piece of paper upside down.
Bro, this is a lie. All this map right here is a lie too. There's no way up.
Man, I didn't know how important this was going to be to go over a map with you.
What?
When I went to Alberta...
None of this makes sense. I'm 99% sure that I mapped it out to drive there. It wasn't over there.
Vancouver.
That's funny. It wasn't over there before.
Hey, if I wanted Vancouver, where it is, if I were to go to California, I would fly to Vancouver and then all the way left and then go straight down to Los Angeles.
Did they move the provinces around? I swear to God. That doesn't make any sense.
Like PEI is where the Vikings landed before Christopher Columbus. Because it's the farthest right, and over to the right and a little north is Iceland.
No way, I'm just finding out that.
I'm so pumped that we did this to...
This seems all wrong to me. It's up there.
We're doing a geography lesson.
All the maps are saying the same thing on Google Images.
Cool little geography lesson going on. That.
No way. I don't understand. I'm 31. I swear to God, for 31 years it's been on the other side. No way.
Yeah, when we got the map, if we want to, because it's going out west.
Yeah, I thought that was west my whole life.
No, you know the compass? It's the top is north. You go never eat on the east is East Coast. Sour south, watermelons west. Never eat sour watermelons.
No wonder the drive was so far. I thought it was over there. It's like 42 hours.
Yeah, because it takes days to get across all those provinces.
Oh, man, I need to see some of the maps I seen when I was young.
I know, the ones that we would color.
Yeah, because I swear to God that this is wrong.
Yeah, I think you might have had that thing upside down when you were coloring it.
There's no way that I'm finding this out now.
I didn't know how important this geography lesson was going to be. I was just going to show you where, mainly like, here's little Ukraine, here's massive Russia, here's the territory Hitler took over. Then I was going to show you where little Israel is, and that little area, and then I was going to show you Portugal. So, okay.
I'm mind blown.
All right, we got Vancouver. We got that's the west coast over there. Rocky.
Over there.
Yeah, to the far left, the Rocky Mountains.
I always thought that was the East Coast. Until now. Wow.
Wow. So now we learned about. So now, hey, now what's really cool to show you is go to Vancouver.
There.
And you go up. Okay, go back. So now you're going to where it says United States, and that's Alaska, is what all that is.
Mm-hmm.
We crossed this Bering Strait apparently, right?
Well, how'd they get that land over there?
Who, the States?
Yeah.
They bought it real cheap back in the day.
Oh, that's just Alaska?
Yeah, it's all Alaska.
Okay, whatever.
Which is right next to Russia. Eh? You see that?
Oh, wow.
Bro, they can look at each other from across that water.
That's close.
Real trippy, man. That they can. That's why the North is so important. But okay, so you go down. You got Alaska, but then this is apparently how did these people get to South America, right? How did man get to South America back in the day? This is what I'm pretty sure they did. Is they took that Bering Strait, but I think they canoed that bitch type of deal. I think they canoed it all the way down, bro. Follow Vancouver, bro. It goes to the States. You got San Francisco. You got Los Angeles. Like California's all there. Keep going all the way down. You see Mexico?
Yeah.
Guatemala, eh? Keep going. Boom. You got Ecuador, Peru, Chile, I'm pretty sure that's how they all got to the South America, bro, is they went all down that whole coast. And some people were stopping along the way and, you know, setting up shop or whatever. And then eventually they would go probably try and go across the country and stuff like that. But
You think some people settled along the way?
Yeah.
Places?
yeah, I think people settled along the way. That's where you have different looking native people, I think. Because depending on the climate and everything like that, you know what I mean? Because that's why you have Mexican and Inuit people, like Eskimo looking people. They look the exact same, right? Like some of them. And it's because like they all came from Asia. Because Asia's right there where I showed you Japan, right? Like and shit. I don't know if you were able to see that yet. We got a little caught off with Vancouver. But if you go back across that Bering Strait, bro, there's Japan and China underneath Russia. That's why BRICS is gonna be so dominant, I think. Is
What's
Russia?
their dollar backed by?
What?
What's their dollar backed by?
Gold.
The BRICS nations is?
Yep. And guess what they just did? I'm on the geography lesson. Okay, I gotta zoom back out a tiny bit. If we go back over to Russia,
I'm not flying these places anymore. I'm learning how to use them now. Yeah.
and across to Moscow, you see Moscow?
Yeah.
We're going straight down.
That's the capital, Moscow?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Moscow. We're going straight down to old Ottoman.
Dr. Congo.
Huh?
To Dr. Congo?
Yeah, the Democratic Republic of the Congo, as they call it. But yeah, Sudan is in here. If you look here, it's just above the South Sudan there in Sudan.
What's two over from Sudan?
Are we going left or right?
Left.
Yaoundé?
Oh, maybe you zoomed in a little bit more than me.
Huh?
Maybe you zoomed in a little bit more than me. What's it called?
Yaoundé? Is it next to the Central African Republic?
Oh, that one. That's under it, isn't it?
Oh, I gotta zoom in. Oh, that's Cameroon.
Cameroon.
You know, they'd be in the FIFA
I've
games.
never even heard a lot of these places.
Yeah, I know. Africa has, like, I think 54 countries.
Some of these don't even seem like real names. Wow, okay, keep on.
So you saw Cameroon right there. Look up, there's Nigeria, where Izzy's from. Okay?
Yeah. Oh, South Sudan. Oh, shit.
And that's Niger. That's how you pronounce it, okay?
Mm-hmm.
But if you, then Mali.
Like, what the fuck's that? Mauritania.
Hold on here. I'm getting lost on my map.
This is trippy.
I know. I have to get a little bit under Mali is Burkina Faso.
Yep. What do they do there?
That's Ibrahim Traore.
Oh, this is where he's taking over.
That's where he's from. And this is, where he's leading. And Mali, Niger, all these countries, Ghana is right underneath. And these are the countries that are uniting and standing up. And Nigeria is to the right of that.
Mali, Nigeria,
Guinea,
Congo, Guinea.
Bissau is far left on the ocean.
There's no U in Ghana. Just figuring that out. Senegal?
I don't know if they are as well,
Benin?
but they should be. I think they are.
Damn.
Then the king of Morocco, they're at the top.
You said Niger's in it too?
Yep.
Jesus, they're pretty big, Mali and Niger.
Mm-hmm.
Chad's in it?
Yep.
Holy fuck.
Because France.
Sudan?
I don't know. I don't think so because they have their own civil war going on. But Ibrahim Traore is talking about putting a militia together of all those countries and going in and stopping that in Sudan and in the Congo.
What is it? Sudan versus South Sudan?
Yeah, and
Please don't kill my South Sudan women.
bro, in Sudan, there's another civil war going on in Sudan.
And then they have another.
And then they have, yeah, then like they already had the beef with South Sudan. It's fucking a disaster. So like that's what it will be. Is it would be African leaders getting together and going into these other countries and bringing peace to these other countries.
Is Saudi Arabia part of Africa? Or is it part of Europe, or is it part of Asia? Which one is it part
It's
of?
part of the Middle East, which like it's super confusing. You know, it's semantics. It's almost kind of like 100 years ago. None of these fucking places had any names. They had tribes. You know, 100 years ago, none of these countries even existed. They made all these up like 80 fucking years ago. A lot of these. A few countries got together and made these all up for them. And
few
that's
white countries?
huh?
A few white countries?
Yep. Like France, and and Italy and stuff. And yeah, so that's what it was. The world was so much different, but just across there, like you go. So you're in Africa still.
Mm-hmm.
You go straight up. You see Libya.
Yep.
That's where Gaddafi was, and Gaddafi tried to do what Ibrahim Traore is doing, and they got rid of him. But then to the right of them, that's Egypt.
That's Africa.
Yeah, Libya. Gaddafi was Africa. Africa.
Egypt is Africa.
Yeah.
That means Saudi Arabia is Africa, then, right?
See, it's
Connected.
It should, yeah, but the majority of the world knows it. It's called the Middle East, or it's called the Middle East. They call it.
I don't.
It should be
It's gotta
Africa.
Be part of something, no?
It should be. It should be Africa.
Or
But
is it Asia? They're all He's connected to all three.
I know, eh? I know. It's super confusing.
Some good land.
Right. So this gets real interesting when you're at Egypt, okay? Because they don't like to put Palestine on this map. Let me tell you. I thought that's what you were talking about earlier, but can you see what we call the whole Middle East pretty much on your map?
What do we call the Middle East?
Yemen's at the bottom.
Iran.
Yeah.
Baghdad. Saudi. Pakistan. Oh, it's up here too.
Oh shit.
Whoa, Kazakhstan.
Okay, yeah, you don't got to go to the far right that much more. I know. That Kazakhstan's huge. Where what's his name? Rachmanov is from.
And it just splits China and Moscow.
Mm-hmm. But go back to the Middle East here.
Mm-hmm.
And we got say because Turkey,
Iran, Baghdad area.
Baghdad, and then like that's pretty much like above you'll see is Turkey.
Yeah.
Okay.
How you spell Turkey?
But under it like is Syria and Iraq. Baghdad is Iraq.
Under Turkey? Oh, there we are.
Yeah. So you have Syria, but you're gonna have to zoom in here because Israel is real fucking tiny. Okay.
Israel's in here somewhere.
Yeah. If you zoom in,
Jerusalem.
they'll pop up eventually if you zoom in enough.
I found Israel.
So
Where's Gaza?
it's
Oh, there's Gaza.
it is you have to keep having to zoom in. You know.
That's a lot of area Israel's got.
Uh-huh.
Hey, where's Palestine? I don't see Palestine. I have to keep zooming in.
Let's keep zooming in. Let's try and find Palestine. No, yeah.
I'm not seeing it.
Hey,
Palestine.
you can zoom in a ton.
Yeah, I think I'm seeing they're fucking walking down the street, but I don't see Palestine. Who made the map?
Who made the map?
Wow, Israel's big.
Yeah, the Gaza Strip and the West Bank, they're not very big, and they don't even really mark them out very much.
Jerusalem's all the way up there.
I see they mark them kind of with dotted lines a little bit.
That's what the West Bank is.
But it's been occupied by Israeli like troops since 1967.
How high do these Israel people want to go out?
Okay, so yeah. Let me show you here. What the like?
Beirut.
Yeah, it's Lebanon.
They want that too?
Uh-huh.
Bro, they're gonna make a massive country.
I know they are. Hey? I know that they want some of Jordan, but they're not, but they know they can't go and get that right now. That has to be a farther plan. But Syria?
They don't want fucking Syria.
Oh, yeah, they do. And they're already in there, occupying some of the area.
Bro, are they gonna take over the whole side, that side?
Hey, keep looking to the right, though. See?
Syrian desert.
Yeah. That's what they've got right now. And they want more.
So they're gonna take Iraq?
They want that. That's Greater Israel.
It
That's
started way down there.
I know. And when you had to zoom in to even fucking find it,
They don't want Jordan, do they?
they want part of it, but
Saudi's gonna let them take it?
no, they're not gonna. I don't think they're gonna.
Okay.
But if they could
They
have,
don't want Iran.
yeah,
Bro, they're gonna take over that whole side of the world.
I know they want that.
They only got 0.2% of the people, I thought.
They remember, if you watch The Settlers, it's all about one more acre, one more goat, and you got to just keep settling. What they do is they go in there and they just start building on land, and then say mine. Bro, that's what they do. They just say mine, and they have fucking assault rifles strapped out, like they have a fucking, the strap on attached to the gun. They just have it throw over their shoulder, and they just have an assault rifle on them at all times. Even in the church, or whatever they want to call it, synagogue. Yeah, they want a bunch of land, bro. But look how big Iran is.
Bro, they can't take all that.
But they keep convincing people.
Not me.
They keep convincing they keep convincing they want more people to move there. If you hear them, they're all pumped up about getting people to move there.
Why would Saudi want them to just surround them?
I think they're teammates.
Well, that kind of money and those kind of brains is not good.
I know. And Eric Kushner, Trump's son-in-law, has great relations with both of them. With the Prince of Saudi Arabia and Netanyahu.
So
Not Eric Kushner, Jared Kushner. Jared Kushner, his dad's good buddies with Netanyahu, and he's continued their relations all these years, decades later.
I've never heard of this one country, but how does Yemen get any bad stuff happening there?
Huh?
They're all bad and stuff. Like, how does Yemen get bad stuff happening when they're like?
Because they're right at the sea. It's a port.
Very close.
It opens up to the sea. There's the Indian Ocean there. Like, you know what I mean? It's good for trading to come in here in the Arabian Sea. It's good to come through there, and they can be pirates, and they can go and rob all that trade out there. That's what they like.
I see Somalia's right there. Oh, that's why they do that.
Yeah, both of those places, right? They're known for pirates, and because lots of things like to come through there.
I never heard of Oman.
Oman, yeah. They don't get they're pretty peaceful. Like you don't hear about them for a reason. It's a pretty peaceful area. So Yemen, you know what they did this morning? They launched some fucking missiles apparently all all the way over and hit fucking Israel's airport.
What? Damn.
Yeah, I think like a 2,000 kilometer fucking missiles they launched. And I don't know if the missiles hit the airport, or they shot the missiles out of the sky and it was debris that hit the airport, but they had to cancel all flights today. In Israel, at the Ben Gurion airport, that's like one of the former prime ministers, one of the terrorists that founded the country. Kind of like the Dulles airport. I don't know if you ever heard that. Alan Dulles, like they got
an airport. Dulles brothers.
Yeah, the Dulles brothers. Yeah, there's an airport named after him. Those pieces of garbage. But yeah, Yemen.
Why is Yemen doing that?
And you know what? They
don't like the brown.
They don't
like what they're doing.
Israel. They don't like Israel.
But the Saudis like Israel.
I think so. Hey, I think so. I think they have for decades had, and I think Saudi Arabia.
Since 2001.
I think they were together. They were teammates then. I think that Saudi Arabia for a long time talks in the media or talks like that they don't agree with Israel and stuff like that and what they're doing. And I think behind the scenes, they're teammates. I think they only talk in the bad about them because they have to show that they're standing with their other Arab brothers in the other countries.
But they think those people are scum because they're poor.
I think they are like, hey, money's more important than anything. So
the Brown Brotherhood.
Yeah. Plus,
I wouldn't want these people fucking coming in my country either if I was so rich.
Plus, the United States both gave them their countries, basically.
Gave the Saudis their country?
Yeah. With Bush.
Why would we do that?
Bush Senior.
Why would we give someone that country? If it's so rich.
When the Ottoman they didn't know there was oil there at first. That's the issue. They didn't know there was oil there at first, I think. And even if they did, I think it was Bush Senior that was a big reason that they got that land, and Bush Senior owned an oil company in Texas. So if he I think the United States connections with Saudi Arabia and Israel have been just for a very long time now.
But Israel wants nothing to do with oil.
When the United States invaded Iraq in the early 2000s, the majority of all the oil that they did get out of there all went to, I think 70% or more of the oil in Iraq went all to Israel at that time. The United States didn't go in there and take the oil. Israel got the oil.
So is that why they're ahead of the game? Because they got that at one point?
They got what?
Oil? Because I didn't know that they had anything to do with oil. I thought they had a shit country that had no oil.
Yeah, they don't have oil, Israel.
It's like, but they don't try and take places that have oil. Does Iran have oil?
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Let's see here if it gives me any kind of thing. How much of Iraq's oil did Israel get? Israel's oil from Iraq. According to reports, Israel imported nearly $1 billion worth of oil from Iraq's semi-autonomous Kurdish region between May and August 2015. This amount met about 2/3 of Israel's oil needs during that period. So that's just one time.
But that's not even a lot. It said $1 billion?
Iraqi... what'd you say?
You said $1 billion though? That's not even a lot.
No. That was in like a 3-month period.
Oh.
It's going to take me reading to, but it shows they clearly were at a point, but I'm very sure that's why they went in there, or not why they went in there, but that's who got that at that point. Where am I at? My map. Okay, my map. So the Middle East, yeah, it's interesting, but if you go up a little bit, or maybe zoom out here. Oh shit. You see, like, more to the right, like, is where, yeah, China is.
Yeah, Asia.
Huh?
So what, like...
Where Oman was? Oman? Do you see Pakistan?
Yeah.
Okay.
See New Delhi.
So we got to kind of zoom in right there. Now, there's some trouble going on there.
In Pakistan.
Pakistan, India. Where are you at? Further down, I think, than where that would be.
Yeah, I see Pakistan.
Yeah, then to the right is India. And India's big, obviously. It has a lot of people.
It has way too many people if China's got that many people too.
I know. It does. India has way too many people in that size of a country. And then, they have all those fucking mountains. Like, there's so much mountains going on there.
In the Himalayas.
And that's how I know they don't know the world's population, because there's no way they got into these areas and counted the fucking people at all. They did not. It's a fucking lie.
Ross yesterday.
Huh?
I said that to Ross yesterday.
There's no way, like, where Shavkat Rachmanov and stuff like that, they ain't fucking counting all those people. Dagestan, they're not counting all those people.
What, you think there's 10 billion people?
Who knows? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how they're making their guesses. But, like, there's no way they're able to count all these little villages and rough areas these people fucking live in. India, that many fucking people piled in there, who knows? But Pakistan and India are ready to go to war.
Really?
Oh, bro. That's where the next nuke might happen. Because they both got nuclear power.
And China's gonna let that happen?
I think the world needs to get these guys to hold their horses. But I've always heard that Pakistan just hates India.
I can understand why.
Now,
That country stinks, I hear. Right next to it.
The issue is that just like Israel and everywhere else, but like to extreme extent, they always say, oh, it's the world's problem is radical Islam. Nah, it's tons of fucking different people that grow up being told anybody's the enemy. There's multiple fucking cultures and ethnicities that are growing up, and they're growing up believing a certain people want to kill them and they're the fucking enemy. Same with North Korea, you know what I mean? Like, they're clearly raising everyone and saying, oh, South Korea, they're not telling them about any of the rest of what other people are going, like, in the world, but they're telling them that...
North Korea?
Huh?
Where is North Korea?
We'll have to zoom out and I'll show you. One sec. It's far right. You found it? It's near Japan.
Japan's an island.
What?
Japan's an island.
Yeah, they like that.
I'd like that too.
But they made their way in different times. They're
smart over there.
They really fucked shit up. And if it wasn't for the United States, they probably would have...
taken over.
Bro, I don't know, man. All of Asia, I don't know how big they would have went. But Japan, if it wasn't for the United States, I think Japan would have been the most dominant country in the entire world.
That little country over there.
they would have taken it all and made it Japan.
And now what's all? Mongolia?
China. They would have tried to fight. They would have probably battled Russia. And I think they did at different times.
Oh, Russia's huge.
I know, but you got to think like the further back you go, there's less people.
But bigger country.
Japan's united perfection till death made them the best. It makes them the best. That little country.
Yeah, because I hear that they make great things for the manufacturing industry.
Because they're just all about perfection. That culture's always been about perfection.
They make good they make the good stuff for us.
Yeah. Perfection, or you don't want dishonor. In your family, that is a no-no.
North Korea's is attached
to South Korea and China.
to China.
Yeah, that's why they get to do whatever they want. Because if any country decides North Korea needs freedom and democracy, China will say, I don't think so.
I've always heard that China likes that North Korea's like.
Because it's a nice little buffer.
Mm-hmm.
It keeps some separation.
It doesn't make them look as bad.
Mm-hmm. And it keeps some separation from Japan. It keeps separation because Japan fucked people up in China different times. And they want that separation.
But China's never said, hey, let's go take Japan.
Nope. They might have tried before and failed. Gotta come over that water.
Pyongyang. I heard of that.
Pyongyang, yeah, that's the capital of North Korea.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I think we'll be real cool to live. We're gonna go all the way far left to the ocean. See, that's where like
Sweden, Finland.
I'm thinking further down, but like okay, so I see where you see that, and go further down to the left, like Lisbon. I think this
Down,
is
you said? Spain?
next to Spain.
Casablanca.
Lisbon.
Oh, there. Oh.
Portugal. That's where Ronaldo's from. Remember when we played FIFA, we had that Bruma guy real fast?
Mm-hmm.
Because Africa's right underneath it.
It's not poor there?
Portugal?
Yeah.
No, Portugal was for Christopher Columbus sailed Portuguese boats over to America. Portugal was the #1 seafaring, they owned the waterways. All the people now, they weren't doing good things, let me tell you, because they were the ones getting all the African people down to South America. That's why you got the Jamaicans, and you have, like, when you look at South America, those black people, they came from Africa. And I don't think it was by volunteering.
Like by force, you're saying?
I think so. And but it's a really cool place, I think, to live right now, Portugal, because Spain is right there. That's pretty cool, like, to be able to, like, Spain has cool, like, culture and beautiful Spanish women, right? And like, Europe is so close, really, right?
Pretty much.
You have Spain, Paris, up is Ireland, England, Switzerland's over there, Italy's over there, like, all that waterway, the Mediterranean Sea, like, Sicily's in the middle, but underneath is Africa. How crazy is that? And that's why when we would play FIFA, you would see some of these European countries that have black guys. You know what I mean? We'd play as the national team, and you'd be fucking some of these national teams, and they got black players, and you're like, why? And it's because Africa's right underneath all these European countries. right underneath. But look how much bigger it is than all of these European countries. Look how big the continent of Africa is. These countries are way bigger than the European countries.
We want them, right? We want them to be a big, thriving country then?
They could do awesome if they were allowed to like make money from their own stuff that they have in their country, instead of those European countries having their mines and like owning the mines and owning like the farmlands and stuff like that. Instead, if African people owned the farmlands and the mines and they sold whatever they dug out or grew, instead of American companies and French companies and British companies being all in there, owning it all, and then paying them fucking 1 cent a day.
Won't this get ugly?
What do you mean? Won't it be bad if they because they could become dominant in the future?
No, I don't give a fuck if they do. Well, I see this like slight issue, but it doesn't matter.
It's a pretty long term.
Yeah, it's yeah. But like the slight issue long term is like, well, what if they say we need to get back at the whites because they took advantage of us for our whole lives, but whatever.
Oh, they try a whole world war?
Yeah, like I can see that happening, but we don't want them to become, like I see it getting ugly because obviously we don't want that. Well, I want that, but I mean like powers to be don't want that. Won't there be a big war? Or there'll be a little war and we'll just not even let them get started again, like the Gaddafi's.
So that's what's going on right now, and China and Russia are backing Africa. They're backing Burkina Faso. Like Putin already met with Ibrahim Traore. I think on, like within the last week, Putin and him met.
So instead of us helping
Africa, instead of...
They'll go to Russia, China, and then they'll go to BRICS.
Yep, that's what I think is going to happen. Because China already... Ghana, which is right underneath there. When I was talking to the guy from Ghana, China's building in Ghana. I'm pretty sure Ghana is China's biggest partner in Africa right now.
Partner, or
they're building them churches. They're building them roads. They're built like and shit like that.
Yeah,
like,
but in return for what? That sounds like what we do to them.
It's in a way. It's called the Belt and Road Initiative. Is they're helping build their country so they can
actually though.
Swear to God, I asked the guy in Ghana.
We want you to thrive. It's not a trick.
So that they can get like cobalt and lithium.
Oh, they're gonna be good with them, so they can. So we don't take their minerals; they can have the minerals.
Yeah, China's like, hey, you guys be our trading partners, and we'll build you guys stuff instead of coming and destroying, like wiping people out, wiping areas out. How the United States did it was by force, and they're like, hey, we'll help build. Instead of kicking you off your land, we'll help build. Like that. It's called the Belt and Road Initiative, and that's what they've been doing, and they've been doing it in South America too.
I don't want to live forever and see what happens.
What?
I don't want to live forever and see what happens. It seems like it's going to go bad.
It seems like it's going to be interesting, but that's why I've been saying this, because I see what the plan is, and I'm like, I don't want China to be the number one country in the world, but they're watched what the United States did, and they're like, oh, like that's a bad way to get resources from a country, carpet bomb it, and then when you've had enough of it, just flee. Like they owned the opium fields in Afghanistan for 20 fucking years. 95% of the fucking opium production in the world was coming out of Afghanistan, while the United States owned, like, occupied Afghanistan. I've watched tons. There's former soldiers that go on Sean Ryan and say, we guarded poppy fields. And guess what? For the past 20 years, how much pharmaceutical drugs have been killing people from opium?
Mm-hmm.
So the United States has just done a bad job getting resources out of countries. They do it by force. And China said, we're going to do the Belt and Road Initiative.
It could go trippy. That could be trippy.
Belt and Road Initiative.
So then I'd love to see those countries. Then those countries wouldn't be leaving Africa anymore.
Exactly. They'd be wanting to stay and build and continue with building a thriving civilization there. Belt and Road
Can we do this in
Initiative.
India? Can we make India thrive so they stop coming here?
Maybe like this. The Belt and Road Initiative is a global infrastructure development strategy adopted by the government of China in 2013 to invest in more than 150 countries and international organizations. Composed of 6 urban development land corridors linked by road, rail, energy, and digital infrastructure. But probably through India makes sense. Or try to avoid India, because I want to say they're building relations. That I read recently in the past couple months that China and India have been building relations because they did have tensions before.
Are Indian people going into China? Why are they all coming here and not China? And I know they go to Saudi Arabia. I know they do, but they don't have a great They go to China or they go to Saudi to work.
Oh, they come.
I know they go to Saudi Arabia to work. I talked to a guy.
My grandmother is Indian. Just let me preface with that. I think a lot of them come here to. It's easy. It's easy to scam people here. I think there's a lot of naive people here in Canada, so I think a lot of them think it's easy pickings if they come over here.
Sure. Did I tell you about that kid I talked to from India?
I need you to talk a little bit louder.
Did I tell you about that kid that came from India? I talked to him and he says his family, generations of his family, they go and they work in Saudi Arabia, right? But when they leave, they have nothing. They have money, but they have nothing. Like, they're not allowed to own property, and you're not allowed to do anything. You're not allowed to own anything in Saudi Arabia if you're not there anymore. You're not working there. That's why he tried to break the cycle and came here with his family.
It makes sense for Saudi Arabia to do that, in my opinion. Because what they're trying to do is keep it. They don't want what China tried to do and come and own a bunch of our land, so that, especially in near bases and stuff like that, or own a whole bunch of fucking housing, and so then they rent all the housing out, and all that money that they make from the rent goes right to China and not back into Canada. Foreign owners of houses and businesses and stuff like that make all this money, and then the money doesn't go back into the country, it goes back to the foreign country, and that's why our country becomes poorer. So I can understand why they do that. You're not allowed to invest in the Chinese stock market. You're not allowed. I'm not allowed to invest $1 in the Chinese stock market. They don't let you. But China's allowed to invest in the Canadian and American stock market. We are dumb. It says the participating countries in The Belt and Road Initiative include almost 75% of the world's population and account for more than half of the world's GDP. That's why I continue to say that China is the most dangerous, even though for some reason Russia, it is China. That is the...
China's taking over more countries than Russia.
Yeah, Russia ain't taking over any fucking countries.
Pardon?
Right? Russia's not taking over any fucking countries. They're taking back a little bit of Ukraine because the US and NATO keep trying to fucking get right on their border. BRICS is gonna dominate. That's what I see. I just constantly see BRICS dominating.
They're gonna beat us out.
Yeah, because they go for long-term planning.
Yeah.
And if you go to, I don't know if you guys still have that map up. So what China has been doing, if you go above, like all the way up to the top of the screen, this is where China's working. That's why Trump wants Greenland so bad. Is because China wants to be up in the north.
Because they know that's where the global warming is gonna affect.
Mm-hmm. China wants to work.
Is that even occupied land up there? Like next to fucking, like that's not even occupied. Is that occupied up here?
North Pole?
No, like all this part of the top right of Russia. Is that even? Is there people that live here? It looks all white to me. And mountainy.
It's trippy that it doesn't really have anything up here on the map, eh?
Mm-hmm.
I know China wants to use those waterways.
Like that whole thing, there's nothing there. Or they just give us a shitty map of Russia. Everyone hates Russia. For no reason.
Then you have that fucking big ass landmass down there, Antarctica, and we don't know what's going on. That's
Where's that?
all the way at the bottom. Very interesting. Nobody knows what's going on down there. Only a small amount of people know what's going on down here. And you can get there from South America or Australia, basically.
Close to South America.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure that's in a port or something like that.
South America's got mountains down there that are snowy.
Well, chirpy. Argentina's a cold place.
Some of
A
it.
lot of it.
Yeah, they have mountains there, the Andes Mountains. The world's a real cool, trippy place, man.
Antarctica down here, it's just flat at the bottom.
At the bottom, Antarctica? Oh, I mean, I don't even know.
It spans the whole world.
I know, man. I don't even know what to tell you. Hey, we're gonna get to that, and I don't got any answers. I know a lot about the geography of the world, except for Antarctica. I don't know what's going on down there, man. I would love to go down there, if nothing, just to see the penguins and the seals and stuff. But
And the polars.
I suppose, but who knows, man? I don't know what's going on down here. Lots of people have tales about what's goes on down here, but
Is that flat part the ice wall?
I know as much about Antarctica as I do about space. They just tell me. There's nobody can show me, like, I don't know.
It's just called Antarctica. There's no places in it.
No.
I know they got names for places.
Yeah, I feel like they got like a couple like towns or something like that. But how are we supposed to zoom? What are we zooming in on? The fucking place is so big.
It's just white.
I know.
I don't trust them.
Me either.
The Southern Ocean.
Who knows what's going on down there? I don't.
and he just spans the whole world. That's all I'm telling him. I don't like this because it's a flat map.
Me either. And what I've been on like 3D ones, and it's real trippy to even look at it. They just don't want you to show. They don't want you to show up there. What's going on? I don't know. It's apparently not possible and stuff, right? Like, you can only go so far and shit. I don't know. It's freezing cold and stuff, they say. I don't know. The world's spinning like insane, apparently. So the more you try and think about it, the more confusing it gets.
Yeah, I know. Interesting, Antarctica.
But the world's pretty interesting, eh?
Is Antarctica the biggest country?
Continent? Yeah.
Continent?
I think so, probably. But they can say it is or it isn't. I don't know how am I supposed to tell, because they fucking showed me a good map of it. You ever hear this video?
Inshallah, he is going to give homes to everyone. My pledge to my country is that I will finish all corruption, and so we will prove to Pakistan is not less than any other country. Pakistan Zindabad.
Pakistan is in the bag.
I love Pakistan. I will sacrifice my life for Pakistan. I love Pakistan. We all love Pakistan. Pakistan
It's in the bag. You know?
Grape.
You know that one?
Yeah, I know that one. What's that one that he says that he's going to fucking destroy India
Yeah.
as a kid?
Mm-hmm. Bro, that's what I say. There's these people that grow up, and they grow up being told these people are the enemy.
But in a worse way than us in Russia.
Like when they try to tell them, like, they hate us for freedom and democracy. Imagine telling a kid fucking growing up that these countries hate us for freedom and democracy. That's why they want to blow you up. What a lie. I was thinking that I want to know if my brother ever hears anything about the Flint, Michigan water. They say they still got to use filters when I look things up.
Really?
Yeah.
Obama didn't fix that?
Obama. The state of Michigan continues to spend thousands of dollars daily on bottled water for Flint residents.
What?
It started in 2014, this issue. It didn't start in it. It was finally talked about. They've replaced 85% of the pipes. So that tells me that it's still an issue. The Flint water crisis. So all I can think is how many people have gotten, who knows what diseases and cancers, probably, right?
Mm-hmm.
Probably cancers from drinking out of lead fucking pipes. And then I thought the people breathing in the fires from the Palisades, all those homes burning, right?
Yeah.
What's gonna happen to those people and the firefighters and stuff like that? Because more people died from illnesses caused by 9/11 than the actual 9/11 attacks. Those people got nasty cancers, bro.
Really?
Oh my God, bro. Bro, those people, there are so many people that have died from 9/11 cleanup, from breathing all that shit in. The building was made with asbestos.
Mm-hmm. Since that Flint has clean water.
Where?
On Google. 2019.
As of 2025, Flint residents are still advised to filter their water while the city's Fast Start program continues to replace lead pipes.
Here it says everyone with, yes, Flint has had clean, low lead water for 4 years. It's just a dropout on Google though.
January 28, 2025, a story of environmental injustice and bad decision making that has yet to be fully resolved. The water crisis in Flint, Michigan began April 25th, 2014. It's getting better, but still not fixed. I think it's still not fixed 100%. So I'm sure some cities or some counties and stuff like that have gotten it, but not all of them. So people are still having to watch out. But then just already the damage from it before even knowing, and the slow fixing of it. If it's a success, Gretchen Whitmer will use it in her presidential run, is my guess. She's the governor of Michigan.
It's a nice thing to be able to run with.
She met with Trump a week or two ago. Because they got the automotive industry and shit. Governor of Michigan is a big deal. Like, I said it months ago that she should be hoping that Trump does a good job, because if Trump does a good job, that makes Michigan needs automotive. That's been the big thing. One of Trump's big things, right, is automotive industry. And so if it does good, that means she does good, and going into a presidential run. I did this. But if I hear anything about the being kidnapped thing, oh my God, I'll be fucking laughing. She can't run on that, because people will tell the real story and it'll look real bad for her. People will people will catch her with the bad questions.
Mm-hmm. Easily.
Yeah, the Indian-Pakistan war, not good.
Maybe they need a fucking little bit of depopulation, though.
They're talking about dropping nukes. That's the issue. And Pakistan already warned the United States that, don't worry, if we use a nuke, it's just for India. The tension...
It won't affect us?
I don't know, but those are the highest tensions in the world at the moment, I think.
But it's going to affect China.
It's going to be an effect that we do not want that to happen. We should not be wanting that to happen. Everyone should be trying to de-escalate that ASAP. Two countries with nuclear next to each other is not good. It's crazy that their two-state solution has not worked because they hate each other.
That's a thing?
Yeah, they got a two-state solution, I think, in 1947 or something like that.
They've hated each other for a long time?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, British India in 1947. India and Pakistan.
I don't think the two-state solution thing works.
It doesn't. There's always going to be fighting at the border of it. North Korea, South Korea, like I just think like that doesn't work. Like there just doesn't become peace when you're next to the enemy.
What, Kim Jong-un's always fighting North Korea or South Korea?
Yeah, he would love to go in there.
Why doesn't he?
Because of the United States.
Really?
The only reason that his grampy didn't fucking take it years ago was that reason. Was the United States went in there and they backed him in the Korean War because the Soviets were back in North Korea back then.
And we were stronger than the Soviets?
Yeah, because the Soviets were trying to fight.
Everyone.
Oh, no. It wasn't the Soviets. It was China. I was getting the flags wrong. The Soviet flag and the Chinese flag were kind of similar. They're red with yellow. Or I guess the hammer and sickle, but it's small. And I remember just watching this. I can picture this simulation in my head when I watched a simulation of the fighting of like in the flag, and it was just like flags. It was so it's them fighting before China or the United States were even in it. And you're watching them fighting and moving on the screen, and then you see these other flags come in and start pushing from different areas.
I've seen that.
Pretty trippy. I don't know how long this was, but it was an interesting geography lesson.
So you think it's okay that you think that we should be doing stuff like that?
What?
Not letting these countries go to war?
I think we should be trying to help in talks, but we shouldn't be going and fighting anybody's war. You know who I don't care for? I think I told you before, is the Matt Walsh guy. I don't care for that guy, but... He
said the coolest thing, eh?
No, he is an idiot a lot of times.
But he said the coolest thing. I know he did, because I know you're going to say it right now.
No, but I know what you're talking about. So it's not that, but he... Maybe, I don't know. But he... Did you watch him on Tucker?
No, I just watched one clip.
Okay.
I think this is it.
I don't think it's it, but I think I know what clip you just saw. But I liked that he shows he knows what a fucking man and a woman is. And
oh, that's funny. Yeah, that's not what I'm talking about.
No. But he's way
that
too.
Movie he made was funny, bro.
Yeah. He those things are funny and show the wild thinking of quite a bit of people, and it might and if you only see those things in a clip, you might not believe they're real, and they might just be passed over. But when you put it in a movie, you're like it. Here's the context and the proof behind it. You know what I mean? Like this ain't fake. This is fucking real. Where it's
real fucking live examples.
Yeah, where in the world of the internet, it's quick. It's easy to just pass something off as, is this even real? Is it a clip? Is it a skit? Is it, is it someone baiting this person and you just took a little? Nah, I liked that he did those things. He has some dumb fucking ideas. But other than that though, like I just like, and I watched him on Jillian Michaels, and so I can't believe the stuff he says after being on Jillian Michaels, but podcast there. But he said, if you can't fund your war, then you aren't a country anymore. You have to give up, basically.
That's exactly what I was gonna say.
Right? Like he and it made a lot of sense. Like, if
your country can't be a country without us funding you, then fuck your country.
You shouldn't, because you're a welfare state. You have to be. Then you need to come to the table. If you're this country that can't fund the war anymore or at all, you need to go to the other country and say, hey, can we work out a deal? Like, or the best you can. That's what you do. You that's what it's been for all of time.
I don't like this deal stuff though.
Well,
I don't even want to be part of it.
so like sometimes they just went and cut off the king's head and like, or they killed everybody, or they cut the king's or the leaders and the king's head off, and then let the people become part of the become part of the empire, or the whatever, or they like Genghis Khan was like either you give up and my son gets to marry your daughter, and then my son rules over your area now, and then his son like that grows up is going to rule over the area, or you all die. So like at different times and all through history, they were negotiating. You ever see any movie? I don't know if you have. I know you have. They're limited probably in this area of movies, but like in say medieval time, they would send a king would send a person to go say, hey, we have this proposal for you or whatever, and maybe he'd give him a fucking scroll or something, you know? They just always, and sometimes they would kill that, I bet you a lot of times they would kill that person. But especially if they rejected the deal.
Yeah.
You would give them a ton of gold or something like that, or you'd give them treasure or whatever the fuck, like, you know, like you gotta, and now since we're supposed to be more civil than those times, you gotta say, hey, can we have this little piece of land, or can we still speak our language if you guys take our country? Like if you guys say this is all of,
that sounds like Ukraine.
I know, that's my biggest example, because it's gonna happen. Like where it's actually going to happen for sure is Russia's getting some of that land. That's what's going to be happening in the end, or Russia's getting all of it. So Zelensky, it's going to be on Zelensky to either say, and he is being a cocksucker, so I don't know. But if he doesn't say, hey, fine, these cities are yours, and this area is yours, and here it is in fucking writing, and we're done.
And my citizens that spoke Russian can now speak it again.
They already like grew up speaking it in Crimea and stuff.
Then they were banned.
Putin's gonna say we're gonna be allowed to rebuild churches and schools and everything there. That's where it's going to happen. Out of all these other conflicts that are going on in the world, where it's going to happen is a place is going to give up land in the nearest future, and the deal is going to be done. It's going to be there, and so Zelensky has it.
I didn't know the deal needed to be done too. So I was going to say.
Yeah.
Another one.
Yeah, like for a deal that's actually going to get done here, it's going to be there, and possibly. I think a high percentage in these next years to come, Zelensky is going to get murdered. They're going to cut his head off, whether it's the Russian people that are going to cut Zelensky's head off.
I hope it's the Ukrainians. I really do.
Okay.
Then the media will just say those were Russian Ukrainians.
I know, but this is what's going to happen. This is the two. What you just said is going to happen, or not. It's going to be either. Ukraine never gives up and goes down fighting for some fucking reason, and Russians eventually get Zelensky, or he flees like a pussy in the end and lets his whole country get fucking slaughtered and flees like other leaders have in the past, and NATO gives him some asylum somewhere, or Zelensky makes a peace deal. And if he doesn't flee after the peace deal to one of those other NATO countries, the leaders of some of those militaries that are going to be pissed that you gave up after we've sacrificed, say, 1 million people or more.
Yeah.
They're going to get him and cut his head off. So Zelensky's either going to get killed from Russians or Ukrainian military people that are pissed that he led them down this route, and then you know how these older it's different to think like this, but like Japan did in the past, like these people, dishonor is a fucking thing in these 1,000+ year old like areas. Dishonor is a real fucking thing. Not in this side of the world, in North America. Shame and dishonor, it doesn't matter to the majority of people. But in the other side of the world, the old world, as I guess like what it would be called, in the old world, they cared about shame and dishonor in your family. So,
but the old world is bigger than we think, no?
Way bigger than we think. And that's what I think is going to happen. Zelensky will die if he doesn't move to England or something like that in the end. I'm going to put it right now, May 4th. May the 4th be with Zelensky, or he will die. And he needs to be in England. My prediction is Zelensky will be in England, or he will be dead by the Ukrainian military officers or Russian people.
Oh.
That's my prediction.
I can't wait till the media says that it was, no matter what, it was Russia.
Yeah, they will, because Russia's our biggest enemy for some reason, even though China is clearly
trying to take over the world.
I heard a guy say, it was a Chinese guy, I heard him say, billionaires own our politicians in the Western world, right?
Yep.
He said no billionaire would ever own the Chinese government. They'll disappear you. The Chinese,
Jack Ma.
yeah, no billionaires are above the Chinese government. But billionaires,
They're probably right.
but billionaires are all over our North American politicians to make their decisions. No billionaire is going to make a decision for the Communist Party of China. So that's the biggest difference, is their government is not going to be controlled by some tech billionaire.
So you think that
They'll take all their money. They'll say, you think you're so important? We'll take all your money from your fucking bank accounts and you'll never be seen again. You can't do that in fucking the United States or Canada. You can't do that to Elon Musk. You can't do that to Bill Gates. You can't do that to Peter Thiel. You can't take these people and make them disappear off this earth. You're allowed to do that in China. You're allowed to do it in Russia. But you are not allowed in Canada to take I can't think of the Bitcoin guy. What the fuck's that guy's name?
Satoshi?
No, the guy that owns Binance. He's Canadian. You can't take him and disappear him and take all of his money. You're not allowed to do that in North America. You're not allowed. But in China, if you think you're fucking above the government, you're not. So it's the biggest difference. But here our politicians are bought, and it's only for a short period of time.
How much longer can this thing last?
Not long.
Do you think this place like Canada and U.S. lost another 250 years?
No. So that's why I said, when I was showing you little Portugal there, I was like, that's the closest place to Canada, like in pretty much in Europe, and it has access to a lot of Europe, and it has access to Africa in case maybe they get awesome.
What's the temperature in Portugal?
Nice. I'll check right now.
I'm checking right now. No. Lisbon, it says. It's 67. It's not the nicest. Actually, that's perfect. They got perfect weather. It only goes down to 55, and it doesn't get past, 71. I like that. And sun, I like that.
I know. The coldest month is January, 52 to 57 degrees.
Let me type in Portuguese women. Portuguese.
Hey, you wonder why they speak Portuguese in Brazil? Those are the type of women.
Portugal women. Don't show me their sports. Oh, but. Damn. Some of these girls got big butts. I know it.
I know it. They
But
got,
they're also psychotic.
hey, they got nice skin. Yeah.
They're like Latinos.
Yeah, it's right next to Spain there. Yeah, a lot like that. Bruh.
I don't even want to be here tomorrow.
Bruh, that's what I'm saying. We're just saving money because I see the future is not North America in the Canadian dollar. I think we're gonna have to have it in some type of crypto, and we're out of here to live a way better life. Our grandma did it, and her parents did it. They went from India all the way to Trinidad. Bro, do you have your map up?
Yeah. Wait. Yeah.
Can you find India again real quick? Or no?
Yeah, inside.
I'm gonna have to zoom out here to be able to do this trip they made.
Let me find India. Kazakhstan.
Straight down from Kazakhstan to that point.
Yeah. New Delhi.
So they went down there in a boat. They did this in a boat, a ship, a boat, and they went all the way down under South Africa.
Jesus.
Okay? And then you see Brazil.
Yeah.
They went up between that waterway.
Like between Brazil and Mali?
Uh,
Between Brazil and Africa.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. To the top of South America. If you zoom in, you'll see Venezuela, and it's it's above Venezuela.
What is?
Trinidad and Tobago.
Where are we at here? Oh, Port of Spain. Trippy not to go to the big island. Not to go to the actual big area, though, no?
Mm-hmm. Right there. That's where Grandma was born. But her parents started all the way over there, bro. Can you imagine that they went all the way on a fucking boat?
How long does that take?
Where do I have that? I have that. Maybe it's on that phone that's recording, but I have I forget what it's like called, but it was it was a program that's not the right word for it. They had during that time in the early 1900s, they had this like a program. They had this program where I think even it was going on in the late 1800s too, but I think they went in the early 1900s where you could sign up and they took you on a boat to this new land and you were going to work, and after some years you were not your work permit type of deal, you signed up for, say, I'm going to work 5 years, 10 years, whatever, and then you for this business, and then you get to go be kind of like a free citizen, go do whatever you want type of deal.
Glorified slave, you said.
Indentured servant is what it's called. There's indentured servitude.
Same thing, right?
You kind of work, and sometimes they didn't let you go and be free.
Gotcha. They pulled a gotcha on you?
They pulled a gotcha a lot of times in Jamaica. I know they pulled a gotcha a lot of times. I'm pretty sure. But yeah, they went to Trinidad and Tobago, and then they did their indentured servitude thing, had fucking a fuckload of kids. One of them was grandma. She somehow fucking, back in the day, it's a weird thing, never going to be a thing again, grandpa was in the Air Force, and they did pen paling with people from fucking there. Ends up fucking, they write letters to each other. He moves down there, convinces her parents, hey, come to fucking Quebec. I'm going to marry her. She goes to fucking Quebec, and fucking mom then moves to London. Dad and his sister.
Yeah, our fucking life depended on a pen pal.
Straight up the trippiest shit ever, bro. The trippiest shit ever. And when I seen that fucking boat ride that grandma's parents took, our great grandparents, fucking the scariest shit it must have been. Eating barely anything, drinking barely anything. Going from India to fucking Trinidad and Tobago is insane.
On a probably nice cruise ship, eh?
In the early 1900s, I'm sure. I wish I knew the distance, bro. I wish I just even across, not down and around. Going from India, because it's no lie, almost straight across. You can go from like the bottom of India across the world to Trinidad and Tobago. Like it's around the same equator line. Like it's around the same like temperatures there, except it's a little hotter in parts of India.
It's so weird to land at that little island.
Trinidad and Tobago is close to the equator line.
Like, why land there and not Venezuela, not Ghana, not Guyana? What the fuck's that?
Guinea?
Guinea. Oh, okay.
Yeah, Guinea. But it's in
French Guinea?
But like, my guess, I don't know this, but my guess is that England owned India at that time and owned Trinidad and Tobago at that time. That's my guess. If I looked it up there, my guess is India owned, or the British owned both, and so they were shipping them there.
But how did you hit Port of Spain before you hit any part of Brazil?
I agree. I don't know. Maybe because maybe the Portuguese owned or some owned Brazil at that time. Portugal was booming until not that it's very recent that Portugal is not one of the richest countries in the world. They owned all the shipping to go across the ocean.
Did I go there before?
No. Portugal?
No.
It's across the ocean.
Yeah, I know. When I went on, I thought that I forget. Oh, I might be retarded.
You probably went south.
I know, because when we went on a cruise time, we ported out of somewhere we had never been. I forget where that was. It definitely wasn't Portugal.
Pretty interesting world, though, eh?
Pretty nuts that fucking Vancouver's over there.
Vancouver's over there.
My whole life, I thought it was to the right.
Honestly, best part of the entire video.
They moved it.
Oh, I can't wait to see how well this turned out on video. All right, hour 38. Deuces.